She was young, beautiful, and famous. She had millions of followers, a seemingly perfect life, and a future full of promise. But when she needed help the most, no one stepped in. In a busy city street surrounded by dozens of witnesses, she was brutally murdered. People watched, people recorded, but no one helped. This wasn't just a crime of passion, this was the bystander effect in action, a psychological phenomenon where everyone assumes that someone else will do something until no one does anything at all. How did it come to this? Why did no one intervene? And most importantly, could she have been saved? Welcome to my channel where we explore the most chilling and important real-life stories. Today, we're telling the tragic story of Chen Qiaofang, a Douyin star whose life was cut short by the man who once claimed to love her. This is a story of manipulation, financial abuse, emotional control, and the devastating power of the bystander effect. A situation where a public tragedy unfolds while everyone looks on, but no one steps in. But Chen's story isn't just about her murder. It's about how toxic relationships trap people, how silence empowers abusers, and how society sometimes fails those in danger. Stay with me, because after we dive into this heartbreaking case, I'll share essential tips on how to recognize dangerous relationships and how to act if you ever witness someone else in harm's way. Because Chen's story could have ended very differently. The case, a love story that was never real. Chen Qiaofang appeared to have everything. She was a social media star, beloved by millions on Douyin, China's version of TikTok. But while she smiled for the camera, behind the scenes, she was trapped in a toxic relationship that she couldn't escape. The truth? The TikTok account she appeared on wasn't even hers. It belonged to her boyfriend. She never earned money from their success. He kept it all. He wasn't just controlling, he was possessive, manipulative, and dangerous. When she finally realized what was happening and tried to leave, he wouldn't let her go. Instead, he played one last mind game, giving her a puppy. A small, innocent creature meant to manipulate her emotions. And just like that, she gave him one more chance. But abusers don't change. They escalate. When she finally walked away for good, he made sure that if he couldn't have her, no one could. The public murder. When everyone watched and no one helped, on a busy street, surrounded by a large crowd. He didn't try to hide it. He didn't sneak around. Instead, he attacked her in the open, in front of everyone. And yet, no one stopped him. People stood there. Some took out their phones. Many looked in shock, waiting for someone else to step in. But no one did. Until it was too late. This is known as the bystander effect, a psychological phenomenon where people in a group assume that someone else will intervene. The bigger the crowd, the less likely anyone is to help. And in that moment, silence became deadly. Why didn't anyone help? The bystander effect is one of the most terrifying aspects of human psychology. It explains why, in moments of crisis, large groups often fail to take action. Here's why it happens. Diffusion of responsibility. Everyone assumes that someone else will step in. The bigger the crowd, the more people think, it's not my job to do something. Fear of getting involved. People hesitate because they don't want to get hurt or make the situation worse. They think, what if I intervene and end up being the next target? Social influence. We take cues from others. When people see no one else acting, they assume maybe it's not that serious. The brain thinks, if everyone else is just watching, maybe I should too. The not my problem mentality. Some people think, I don't know her, it's not my business. In reality, a crime happening in public is everyone's business. Fear of legal consequences. In some places, people worry about getting involved in a violent situation and facing legal issues if things go wrong. But here's the truth. The only thing worse than stepping in and failing is doing nothing at all. How you can overcome the bystander effect and act in a crisis. Chen Qiaofang might still be alive today if even one person had stepped in. So what can you do if you ever witness something like this? Don't assume someone else will help. You be the one. The first step is recognizing that if no one else is acting, that means you have to act. Even a small action can make a difference. Yelling, calling for help, anything to disrupt the attacker's focus. Call for help. And be specific. Don't just yell, "Somebody help," because people will assume someone else will. Instead, point to a specific person and say, "You, call the police." Studies show that when you directly assign responsibility, people are far more likely to act. Create a distraction. Yell something like, "Hey, stop," or "What's going on here?" Often just disrupting the situation is enough to throw the attacker off. Get others to join you. If you're too scared to act alone, turn to the crowd and say, "Let's help her." When people see others taking action, they snap out of the bystander effect and follow. Don't just film. Intervene. Recording can help provide evidence after the fact, but in the moment, helping is more important. If you must record, also be calling 911 or getting someone else to act. Know when to physically intervene. If you feel safe doing so, step between the victim and the attacker. If that's too dangerous, find another way to interrupt the situation. Report the incident immediately. If you witness something, tell authorities everything you saw. If the victim survives, offer to testify. How to recognize and protect yourself from a toxic relationship. Chen Qiaofang's tragic story is a powerful reminder of how dangerous toxic relationships can be. If you or someone you know may be trapped in a similar situation, here are detailed safety tips to recognize and escape such abuse. 1. Identify the red flags. Early love bombing. If someone showers you with excessive attention, gifts, or intense affection early on, this could be an attempt to create dependency. Financial control. If your partner restricts your access to money or controls your earnings, this is financial abuse. Isolation. Abusers often try to cut off their partner from family, friends, and any support system to increase dependency. Jealousy and possessiveness. If they display extreme jealousy or monitor your interactions, it is a sign of control, not love. Gaslighting. Making you question your reality, your memory, or your feelings is a common manipulation tactic. 2. Trust your instincts. If you feel uncomfortable, anxious, or fearful around your partner, do not ignore these feelings. If you constantly feel like you are walking on eggshells to avoid upsetting them, it's a warning sign. 3. Reclaim your independence. Keep your finances separate. Open your own bank account, if possible. Have private communication. Maintain contact with at least one trusted person outside the relationship. Document everything. Keep a record of abusive messages, financial transactions, and any threatening behavior. 4. Create a safety plan. Identify safe places. Know where you can go if you need to leave immediately. Pack an emergency bag. Include important documents, some cash, medications, and essentials. Secure transportation. Have access to a car or know alternative ways to leave quickly. Keep copies of evidence. Store screenshots, photos, and other proof of abuse in a secure location. 5. Never confront the abuser alone. If you plan to leave or confront your partner, do not do it alone. Involve a trusted friend or seek professional support. Avoid warning the abuser about your plans to leave. 6. Seek professional help. Contact a domestic abuse hotline or local support services. Therapy. Seek counseling to rebuild your confidence and heal emotionally. Legal protection. Explore options for restraining orders or protective services. 7. Cut off contact after leaving. Block all phone numbers, emails, and social media accounts. Be aware that abusers often try to return with gifts or apologies. Do not accept them back. 8. Educate yourself on manipulative tactics. Learn about psychological manipulation, trauma bonding, and coercive control. The more you understand these tactics, the easier it will be to recognize and resist them. 9. Rebuild your support network. Reconnect with family, friends, and communities. Surround yourself with people who validate your experiences and encourage your independence. 10. Know it's never too late to leave. Many victims feel trapped and think it's too late to walk away. It never is. Your safety and well-being are worth more than the time invested in a toxic relationship. Final message. Chen Qiaofang's death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a failure of everyone around her. And no one did anything. This is what happens when we stay silent. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons an abuser has. If you're in a toxic relationship and you're afraid to talk about it, please know this. You are not alone, and you don't have to suffer in silence. Abuse thrives in secrecy. The moment you tell someone, even just one person, the cycle starts to break. You deserve love that doesn't hurt. You deserve freedom. You deserve peace. Conclusion. A lesson from tragedy. Chen Qiaofang's death was not just a crime, it was a preventable tragedy. No one should have to live in fear of the person they love. If this story teaches us anything, it's that we must recognize the warning signs, listen to our instincts, and take action before it's too late. If you or someone you know is in a dangerous relationship, please reach out for help. Your life is valuable. Your freedom is non-negotiable. And real love never, ever hurts. If you found this video helpful, share it. You never know whose life it might save. Stay safe and see you in the next one.